Hello students, welcome to SV Technology. Here, first we are going to discuss some basic components of ER diagram, also called as basic building blocks of ER diagram. Entity, attribute and relationship. Entity. Entity is a real world object. It may be physical or logical existence. It is represented by a rectangle. Suppose we can see here customer is a real world object which is a person, physical existence represented by rectangle. In these entities we have physical existence and logical existence. We know that physical existence means we can see and physically we can feel and touch it. That is person. Customer is a person. Example, logical existence. Logical existence means job, course, concept, etc. We cannot feel it physically. We cannot touch. These are called as logical existence. Here in entities mainly we have two types, that is weak entity and strong entity. The actual entity which is shown in rectangular box is known as strong entity. Weak entity. Weak entity means simply an entity which depends on another entity is known as weak entity. Here in the diagram the weak entity is represented as double rectangle. Okay, weak entity is represented by double rectangle. Entity type. It refers to the category that a particular entity belongs to. For example, a table named student in a university database. We have a university database. In that we have so many tables. In that student table is an entity type. A table named employee in company database. Here also in a company there are so many tables are there in company database. In that employee is an entity type. Here we have to remember one thing. The category of a particular entity in the relation in RDBMS is called the entity type. It is represented by the name of the table and its schema. Here we have taken an example of student entity type. Student entity type means not single student. It is the collection of students or it is a category. Entity set. An entity set is a collection or set of all entities of a particular entity type. Suppose we have taken a student is an entity type in past slide. That student entity types collection is known as entity set at any point of time. The type of all the entities should be the same. Means the collection of all the students from the student table at a particular instance of time is an example of entity set. Otherwise, we can take one more example of employee. The collection of all the employees from the employee table at a particular instance of time is an example of entity set. Here we can see an example of student, and student is an entity. The number of student entities is entity set E1, E2, E3. Entity 1, entity 2, entity 3. These all are student entities. Here we have to remember one thing. Entity set need not to be disjoint. The collection of all the entities in the relation of RDBMS is called entity set.